my Blood Angels. So
The
I've got
Dreadnought and 5 Assault Intercessors for you
with the jump packs
for 40k.
for 40k.
Because I know you've been doing a lot of Blood Angels for 30k.
Yeah.
Because you love your Blood Angels so much, you've like got 10,000 points of painted Blood Angels for 40k.
Yeah.
And then you discovered you could paint even more Blood Angels if you just started collecting Blood Angels for 30k.
Basically, yeah. I got to use all the fun units that aren't in 40k. But I've got, what I look at it as is I've got 3 Blood Angels armies, because you got the Blood Angels proper, like the red and gold.
Right, yes.
Like the normal ones that I bring, and then I've got 2,500 points of Pure Death Company.
But they're Blood Angels proper.
They are,
they're
but they're almost like, to me, you can run them as a separate army.
Yeah.
And then you've got Heresy.
Right, okay.
And everything else where you just wiggle it about.
How many points of painted Heresy Blood Angels have you got now?
I don't even know.
You don't.
Yeah, I played 2K with you, and I still had a few models left. So
yeah.
No, was it 2K or 25? It was 2,500, wasn't it?
We did a 2K one, and then we did a 3K one.
Oh, so no, I probably got about 4K then. But it's not like an army; it's a collection.
Face is white.
Yeah, I'm already pretty white.
Yeah. Well, it's January in the UK. I haven't seen the sun for about a month.
Yeah, my beard's looking lopsided for some reason in this camera.
It's because it's really dark on this side, really light on the other side, and it's not focusing.
It just doesn't look right. Because I'm seeing myself backwards, confusing myself. Oh well.
I think you look pretty.
Thanks.
I can't really grow a beard. I mean, my stubble is really thick, so when I grow a beard, there's patches everywhere.
Patches.
When I was at uni, I had one of those goatees. Is it called a goatee?
You weren't a goatee guy, were you?
I was a goatee guy. I had long hair, man. I had, I went through the goth phase and collecting Space Wolves and never washing. I did that. Like all Space Wolf players, listen to Metallica and think they're edgy.
I mean, Monkey's a Space Wolf player. He's a strange...
Apart from Monkey. Monkey's a strange Space Wolf player.
Clean cut.
Yeah.
Clean in general.
He actually does exercise. He gets out and runs around and everything. Yeah.
He is also, of our friends, probably the one most likely to kill a man.
Yeah. I wonder... Well, he is the most likely to kill a man, unlike Stylus, who's already probably killed a man.
He's the most likely to kill a man next.
Yeah, he's the most likely to kill a man next. Hi, chat. This is Sultan.
Hello, Sultan.
We're back from King in the North, which was a one-day community event. How's the sound, by the way? Because I normally sat like this, but right now I'm sat a bit further back with Sultan here. The sound balance on the thing says it's bouncing around into yellow from time to time. Say something intelligent.
Something intelligent.
Yeah, it seems like it's bouncing around okay. Hi, Stuart. Hi, Weeb. Hi, Adam Sand. Hi, Daily Dice. Hi, Danny D. Red Richard. Jackus Woods, all the way from France, who was also at the King in the North event.
Yes.
And do you know what? That King in the North event, I thought was probably probably the best community event that I've been to, which is slightly annoying because I didn't even organise it. There have been many community events over the years. March of Winters is coming up on...
One of the days. 14th
June the 14th.
Yeah,
which you're going to and Brap's going to. And I obviously, sounds good so far. Thank you, Stuart. Someone's paying attention. But the one on Saturday at King of the North was really good fun.
Good.
Do you know what happened to me as well? You know Tazanara, all the way from Japan? He drops into the chat every now and then.
With the time difference, that's impressive.
Tazanara flew all the way over from Japan, went to King in the North. After King in the North, got a ride with me and Alex Sessio back down on the Saturday night. Stayed in the hotel around the thing, and then played me on the Sunday, flew back to Japan. Anyway, when he was here, he said to me, my sister's a master chocolatier. And I'm like, what, who? And I've brought you some chocolate.
Okay, what, did she make like teapots out of chocolate?
Well, I'll tell you my master chocolatier experience, okay?
Okay.
So I didn't touch it for a bit. And then last night, Kat says, do you want one of these chocolates? And I went, yes. And I took a chocolate and I ate a chocolate. And I was sitting there like... And there was this explosion of gooey, moussey goodness in my mouth. It was slightly salty, slightly sweet, with some like hazelnut stuff. And I was like, what is this thing? And she said, this is one of the chocolates gifted to you from the master chocolatier. And I said, is there any more? And she said, yes, there is. And I rushed to the cupboard, opened up the box and looked inside. And people put gold flakes on food these days.
Edible gold.
It had gold flakes on.
And you just didn't notice when you
Well, because it was dark and she gave me a chocolate. Oh, I'm listening
some
to
things are
YouTube. I've got
wasted
mere
on you.
things there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at this thinking, I put gold in my mouth. It was the prettiest thing I've ever put in my mouth. What's the prettiest thing you put in your mouth?
Donut. I don't know.
It was heavenly. So thank you, Dazanara, for and your sister for the chocolate. Thank you.
I didn't know the Japanese can make good chocolate.
Yeah, apparently skilled chocolatier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, chat. I think we're ignoring the chat. Chat is not popping at all. Chat is not talking, not saying anything.
People are painting. It's a Tuesday night.
Did it sparkle on the way out though? I haven't checked. It might. My wife only answers and what? Hello, Rubius. Blood Buffalo is a bit upset right now. Normally he jumps into the chat. Blood Buffalo from Buffalo. It's a place in America called Buffalo. Yeah. Even though they're not buffaloes, they're bisons, but Americans. And he's normally jumps in here, talks about American football and Lord our Saviour, Josh Allen, going all the way to the Super Bowl. Guess what happened to them on the weekend?
They failed to do the touchdowns. Yeah, they went up against the Kansas City Chiefs and they turned it over to one too many times. And Mahomes is going for a back-to-back on the Super Bowl, which has never happened in the NFL before. And Buffalo got kicked out, or Bison got kicked out. And so normally he jumps in here and he goes, American football. But look, this time he's very quiet. My life, look. Life is pain. You did well, though. I mean, Josh Allen, beast. Buffalo Bills, beast. King of the North. Buffalo has never won a Super Bowl. I know. And Kansas City looks like they're going to go back to back to back. You should see my freshly painted Sanguinary Guard. They are gleaming. The Eternal Crusader, put them in the chat. Put them in the Discord. Show us your Sanguinary Guard. I like your Sanguinary Guard. Your Dante that you did with non-metallic metals is really good. Thank you. I only did 2 of them. I did Dante and I did the Sanguinor.
Why just 2?
Because they're the characters, and I already have a whole non-metallic metal army in the Templars, and I'm not doing that again.
How long does it take to do non-metallic metal?
To do it well takes a while. To do it quickly doesn't take very long at all.
But you did it well.
It took. I could probably paint like 2 or 3 squads in that time.
Squads?
Yeah. Well, it takes me, let's say, like 5 or 6 hours. Depending on the squad, right? Say it's just red Blood Angels. Right. 5 or 6 hours to paint those. Maybe 3 or 4 if I'm quicker.
A squad of 5 or 10?
5.
5?
3 or 4 hours.
In
probably.
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
One nightly sit and you smash out an entire squad.
I can do, yeah. And then, but yeah, these took like more than that.
They took more than that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that Chaos Knight over there, that is a whole sitting. And
it's big though. Chaos Knights take ages.
Yeah, but it was
not Chaos Knights. Knights in general take ages.
But it's really easy. The arm is over there as well, by the way.
No, it's not.
No, it's magnetized.
No, it's not.
But I haven't even washed it yet or anything. It will fit. That's my glasses.
You haven't washed the Knight. It's a Chaos Knight.
No, like wash it as in you do the wash on it.
Hello.
If you could only play 140k faction for the rest of your lives, what faction would it be? Asks Daily Dice. Go, Sultan. One faction.
Well, what army would you... Blood Angels.
It's not Salamanders, then.
I do... so can I just say Space Marines, including all the other flavours?
Are Space Marines, Daily Dice, answer this question. Are Space Marines a faction? If it's Space Marines...
Space Marines are a faction, but it's whether that includes like Blood Angels and stuff, which I know they have separate books.
Well, you could paint some red, you could paint some blue, you could paint some...
Blood Angels are a detachment and faction part of... because they have the Space Marines army rule.
Right.
So if we go off 10th edition logic...
Yeah.
Maybe I can just say Space
Well,
Marines.
for me, if it was only 140k faction... No, doesn't count, I'm afraid. Space Marines are a faction, and I'll prove it right now.
The Codex is in the other room, isn't it?
Damn it. Yeah, there's a Codex that says Space Marines. That's the faction that I would play. It counts. And you can paint them red.
Yes.
Yes. The Eternal Crusader says Templars easy.
I'm gonna just do... I'm just gonna sort of like...
You did some Outrider Templars.
They're still on the desk.
They're still on the desk.
They're base... Well, they're non-metallic metals. they're in flux at the moment. But I was just saying, like, I think if anyone's allowed to say Space Marines as a faction and include all of them, it's me.
Yeah.
Because I have
many
8 Space Marine armies.
8 Space Marine armies.
I've had to take, because we go to events, people always ask, how many armies do you have, Sultan? And what are they? I have to keep on my phone a list of my armies.
Just in case someone asks.
Well, people ask, and I'm like, well, do you want like a rough figure, or do you actually want to know? And like, if they want a rough figure, I go, oh, I know, like,
all right,
15.
these are my armies.
But if they say, I want to know, I go, well, here we go.
And when did you get in the hobby? 8th?
And sort of halfway through 8th. 2018.
2018.
So, yeah, exactly.
So in
halfway
6
through.
years, that's like 2 factions a year, every year. Yeah. I mean, you basically make me look like a part-timer. When are the Tau next on the channel? You've got Tau, I haven't.
I don't know. They'll be on at some point. There's just a lot happening at the moment. There's lots going on.
Maybe Saturday the 18th January when Sultan comes round, he might want to play Tau, but I doubt it. Because he's got Aeldari Codex, which we still need to talk about. And he's very excited about his new Eldar army. Oof. So I don't know. Adam Sand says it takes him 20 plus hours just to paint 3 Dark Angels Intercessors.
It's dedication.
But I'm a bit crap though. 20 hours. What's the tip to speed painting?
Well, it depends how they want them to look. But I'd say, so the way I learned to paint quickly, and I don't paint this way anymore because I learned to paint faster as a result, was I did I spray on black, then sprayed white from above, like a grey seer or whatever it is. You okay there?
Yeah, just making faces to the camera.
Yeah, you keep going.
Yeah.
And then use a contrast paint all over. And like, so red contrast paint all over Blood Angels red. And then a little bit of dry brushing, like up a few layers. And that was the Blood Angels done. I just did some base coating. Now, I don't do that anymore because I've learned to paint differently. But that's how you learn how to do it quickly. Get the brush control in early. And then start practicing edge highlighting. And you'll be slow.
Is there any particular YouTuber that stood out for you with fast painting tips?
Fast painting.
Or did you just naturally do it?
I definitely saw stuff on YouTube, but I don't know if I could point to one person.
Right.
I think I just naturally started to do it as soon as I realized that Zenithal was a thing, and I was looking at how. So I saw some YouTubers using Zenithal primes and then using layer paints. And then I saw some YouTubers using contrast paints, and I thought, well, what if you put those two together?
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and I did it for like 2 years, and then someone comes along and goes, look at all this slap chop stuff, da da da. And I was like, oh, is that what I was doing?
Yeah.
So that came out a few years afterwards, and I think a lot of the community were already doing it. So
War Hipster comes to mind, says the Eternal Crusader. War Hipster.
Never watched.
He's been on the channel once.
No, I don't watch your channel either.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, Just Craig. We're both doing very well. Thank you. I'll see you next Friday. No, not next Friday. That was the other way. That's the other way. I'm seeing you at some point, I know. Tinky Yuku. Oh my, I'm so grateful, especially when you are together the last... Yes. See, Tinky Yuku. See, here's the thing. Thank you, Tinky Yuku. What's the most fun game you ever played and did you win? I don't really remember. So, Tinky Yuku, thank you. The last game, the Sunday one that went up, which was the Aeldari one, Space Marine one.
The one we played?
The one we played.
Oh, is that out?
Went up on Sunday.
Oh. I'm going to have a look.
Does. Thank you for 29 months. Howdy to you too, sir. Went up on Sunday.
Comments.
You remember after feeding it, I was filming it, I was like, this probably isn't going to be very successful because it was over very quickly because you smashed me.
It's not on purpose.
I know. It's doing really well. And people seem to really enjoy the content, including Tinky Yuku. But at the time, after finishing filming that one, behind the scenes, I was like, this one is, and it's a Codex release. But I think there's quite a few comments in there about how we explain things well. Like, you know that thing when I moved, and then you moved, and then I moved the Land Raider, then you moved again?
Yeah.
Like that double move?
Yeah, you fell back.
Yeah.
So I moved. And then you shot at them, so I moved again.
No, I fell back. It was in two things happened in my movement.
Oh yeah, you ended up within a certain distance. That was the Harlequin's
fell back,
attachment.
so you fell back D6+1. Then I move around with the Land Raider.
I
then
spent
you
a
moved
CP
them again,
to move again.
and then I couldn't see you with the flames, which is genius, by the way. And then also you did some other things where you're not shooting them on Overwatch because I spent a thing and I moved further. So I think people got a lot from it because you helped show off lots of tricks and things because you had a new book and you wanted to use all the tricks and things.
I love movement armies.
Movement armies.
So my Blood Angels, my Black Templars, all those things, they run into combat And White Scars as well, advance and charge into combat, have a fight, and it means I fight in my turn, I fight in your turn, I fight in my turn again, and then I can move and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the Eldar is the same thing, because like in your turn I can then move again and stuff like that. So I felt like I was playing the game the whole time. And the fact that they can run out of the way makes up for the fact you one-shot them when when they're out in the open.
Thank you, Nicholas from Germany. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we've been talking about it before so there's many armies that do stuff in the shooting phase, many armies that do stuff in the fight phase, many armies that do stuff in different phases. The Admech army is supposed to be like the command phase army, but they've never got that right.
No.
And now the Eldar is out, and they're definitely all about the movement phase. But also my shooting phase and my fight phase as well, they can do some shenanigans, but it's all about moving quickly.
Yeah.
Moving very, very quickly.
Which is my favourite way to play.
Yeah.
So it's another army that moves quick that I want to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the Harlequin's detachment was fun. Like there's the core rule of just like charge through other people is fine. I can see that being situational to jump on objectives and things.
Yeah.
But it's just all the stratagems to be a nasty little theatre kid. Just run around play acting basically what the Harlequins do. So it's fun. Yeah.
I think they worked well with the aspect hosts as well. It worked. It just because they were tricksy. They were tricksy. It felt like, thank you for gifting a membership, Heresy Squad. I appreciate you. Thank you. They seem way too strong, says Ben. Are they way too strong? The Eldar way too strong? Rue, thank you for gifting a membership as well, Rue. Thank you, legends, both of you. Thank you.
When I started playing them, I don't think way too strong, because they do fall over to a stiff breeze, but I think I wonder if we'll see some nerfs in the future, but I don't have a clue what that might take, what form that might take. I have no idea.
This is what I think. They are strong, and this codex, more than any other codex before this codex, is going to change the meta.
Yeah.
The meta is going to shift because of the Aeldari Codex and the amount of speed they have, particularly the Wind Rider host. You can move like bikes like 40 inches across the table using strats and things. The speed they have is going to change the meta. But here's the thing about Eldar. They are glass cannons. They are toughness. Most of them, except for the Wraith constructs, are low toughness, 1 wound stuff. It's not an army of toughness 4, 2 wounds, 3 up saves, superhumans all across the board.
Yeah.
So what we're going to see in the meta is we're going to see a lot more volume fire coming in. There's going to be a lot more indirect fire coming in. So mortars with the guard, indirect firing all over the place, but also just units of intercessors just throwing down lots and lots of shots. Anything that chucks out a high volume. So in the battle report, for example, at the weekend, there were times where I really punished that big unit of Harlequins.
Yeah.
And I cut them all the way down, so there was only a couple left. If I had more volume in the units that I had, I could point at a unit, wipe it out. Point at a unit, wipe it out. Yeah, you've got fire dragons there, say a unit of 5 fire dragons, but there's only 5 of them with 3 up saves. That's only 6 wounds you need to put on them. 6 failed saves to kill them. So I think they're going to shift the meta, but I think we're going to see volume come back.
Also, I feel if I charged them with any of my Blood Angels units, they'd die.
Yes.
Howling Banshees might be the only ones because they have fights first.
Yes.
But anything else, if I charge them, I think that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is catching them. But then that's what I think a balanced army might be able to fight them quite well.
Yeah.
So you were saying to me, and it is definitely the case, that every Eldar unit is amazing at one thing and doesn't do anything else.
Yes.
So Swooping Hawks shoot and move. They don't do fighting. You don't want them fighting.
Yes.
Striking Scorpions only do stabbing. Howling Banshees only do stabbing.
The other way. Howling Banshees don't shoot, but they murder.
Yes.
Swooping Hawks
so you shoot them,
can't fight, but they can shoot. Fire Dragons, they're all running around with melter guns with loads of stuff and things, but they can't fight for
toughness 3-1 wounds.
They're really good.
I got lucky in that game, thanks to Rue.
Rue, thank you so much for gifting 10 more memberships, you legend. Can we have a GG's in the chat for Rue, please? GG's in the chat. Thank you, Rue. I hope you're feeling better. He's been having a bad time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rue.
He's out of the hospital.
Good.
He's okay. He's got some cream to make the rabies go down. The rashes are all go. He's feeling a lot better. GG's in the chat for Rue. Thank you. Yeah. So catching them is a thing. So you jump towards the Eldar. They're really quick in their turn, right? And then in your turn, when you're jumping towards them with the Blood Angels, if you shoot at a unit, they can disappear. And Guardians can also disappear if you shoot them. They can. So you're going to think, okay, I'm not going to shoot at that unit. I'm just going to charge it with...
Which is how I play.
Yeah, just a unit.
I don't fire the pistols. I just go wheeling in.
Yeah. Any serious Blood Angel unit charging most things hurts them and sometimes kills them. Against Eldar, you'll just annihilate them.
Again, then, except I probably wouldn't want to charge Howling Banshees. That's the one of the units, because the fight's first.
Yeah.
And they have 2 damage swords, which does hurt.
They are toughness 3 with 1 wound.
Yeah, and in shooting, they have a 5-up invuln instead of a 4-up invuln. So, yeah.
So, you know, like Redemptor Dreadnoughts, everyone's got like the Plasma Redemptor Dreadnought with the Burret gun in that fist.
Oh, the Redemptor.
Yeah. But you can have the Redemptor Dreadnought with the Burret gun in that fist and the big Burret gun in that fist. So it'll have 8 shots in that fist and 12 shots in that fist and suddenly 20 shots rather than a plasma cannon. You're going to see the meta shift a little bit like that. Suddenly that's a 20-shot Redemptor Dreadnought. And if you put Oath of Moment on something, they're re-rolling all hits and +1 to wound. And you just,
space
with devastating wounds on 6s, you're killing any Eldar unit that you point at.
Yeah, it's... No, I think they're very, very beatable. I just think they're good shenanigans. Because a couple of times I got lucky in that game with my movement shenanigans. What if I rolled a 1? 2-inch move doesn't help me.
Yeah.
2-inch move doesn't help me.
Yeah.
The movement thing is really good if you roll 6s. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll average out over the game though, because it gives you more movement in your phase, but it does give you movement in the opponent's shooting phase, movement in the opponent's fight phase.
The best one is that +2 move. That's my it's not my favourite, but I think the best one, because it is, you always get the +2 move. You can use it multiple times, and you can still move and then advance as part of that.
Yeah.
You know, and fire dragons people bring up, they have assault weapons. And if you could put him with Fugan, and he has an extra 6 inches to the range, so you can just one-shot something in turn 1, and then your fire dragons die. But you still killed something in turn 1, probably, or maybe turn 2 if you waited. But, yeah. I think, it'll even out over the game, but I don't think... it's a mechanic that still relies on dice rolling and luck, and I like that.
Yes.
I don't want a mechanic that means I don't interact with the mechanic, like the rolling the dice or my opponent. All of the movement stuff is reacting to my opponent, apart from that one that lets me move a bit extra.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's... I don't look at it in terms of meta, personally. I look at it in terms of, like, fun. And I think as long as you've told your opponent you're bringing Eldar and they understand what they're doing, it can be a fun game.
Can you regenerate those movement tokens for Eldar?
Not in the detachment. You get them every battle round.
You have 4 every battle round, and there is a detachment
that I think does
where
extras.
You get an extra one. I think that's the very first detachment. The core detachment, you start off with an extra one every battle round, and it's called the War Host, and you just went past it.
Yeah, you end up with in a 2,000 point game with the War Host, you get 5.
Also,
and you get extra
Farseers. There are a couple of characters in there which can give you tokens back if you spend them. There are ways, it might be Farseers and things.
Yeah,
so there are ways to manipulate some of the tokens with some of the units and some of the things. But the War Host one, interestingly, the War Host detachment, which is basically 5 battle tokens and that's it, does initially seem like the weakest detachment, because in all the other detachments you're going to get 4 tokens to move around all over the place. And like the Aspect Warriors one, you're re-rolling all hit rolls of 1 or re-rolling all wound rolls of 1, as well as 4 tokens. But that one you only get 5 tokens. So why would you take it? Well, the standard War Host detachment, 5 out of 6 of the strats in it are good. They're all strong. They're like the charge after you advance, or the fall back and shoot, or the War Host has got all the juicy stratagems that you'd want in your army all the time.
Make yourself -1 to hit in the shooting or fight phase.
Lightning fast reactions.
It's literally called that. Yeah. At the end of the fight phase, jump into a transport within 6 inches.
Feigned retreat. It's good.
Fall back, shoot and charge.
Fire and fade. Move, shoot, move. Webway tunnel,
shoot,
disappear off the board, come back on again.
Yeah, fire gets sustained hits 1 if you're shooting a close target.
They're good.
And then you also get, if you already have sustained hits, then you get 5s instead of 6s kicking it off. Fire and fade, make a normal move of d6 +1 after you've shot. So it's
Yeah.
move and shoot. That's a strong one.
What's the one that you found up with the tokens? There's a guy with the tokens. Your hand.
So there's two. The Farseers don't do anything with tokens,
the
but
autarchs, yeah.
autarchs. So the normal like on foot autarch.
Yep.
Can re-roll advance rolls for its unit, and bear in mind they can attach to basically all the aspect warriors and everything.
Yeah.
And re-roll any rolls made for agile maneuvers.
Well, there you go.
So that's a good one. And then the autarch way leaper with the wings.
Yeah.
Each time you spend a battle focus token on their unit on a 3-up, you get one back.
Yeah.
So,
So you're getting re-rolls with autarchs, or you're getting a chance to get battle focus tokens back with autarchs. And autarchs are now the ones that attach to aspect warriors along with Phoenix Lords. That's one of the changes. They didn't used to do that sort of thing before, but now they do. So yeah. There isn't any. I'd noticed a question higher up. There isn't any new lore that shouts out at me from the book. I did have a flip through.
Yeah.
I think since 9th and 10th edition, they haven't really been moving the lore needle on very much with their codexes. It's a rare thing to find a change to the lore or an addition to the lore in the codexes these days. Like what they used to do, and when you started in 8th, you could see it like in each codex there was another little nugget at the end, another little nugget at the end, and they push forward, they push forward, and they push forward. They kind of stopped doing that most of the time. There might be a nugget every now and then, but they kind of stopped doing that most of the time. And releasing changes to the lore through the Black Library, through books, or through big changes such as the Arcs of Omens or the other big books. Thank you, Adam San, for gifting a membership. Thank you, Adam San. And thank you, Blood Bison, all the way from not going to the Super Bowl, for your donation. I'm sorry. I should leave it a bit. He needs some time for that wound to become a scar, right? I shouldn't put a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon. What does he ask? Management customers complained they can hear your podcast. Me, it's a stream, hangs up, listens harder, by blood we adjure. I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast stream, whatever. What is it this? This is a stream, this is a
live
podcast.
stream.
It's a live
not,
stream.
I mean, technically you could make it. You do make a podcast.
I
Don't you,
do,
with
the
Chris?
STC, yeah. Seriously, turnip carrots and things. Yeah. Red Richmond, thanks for pimping my shizzle. For those out there who want extra battle reports and want to support me, then you should become a tier 3 channel member and you get extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday. Yay. Blood Buffalo, pain. Sorry. Yes, Eldar. We're talking Eldar, guys. Chats. Ask us Eldar questions. So one of the characters in the Evening Woodsy. Those Harlequins that Snipsy did with the bases, there's a few comments in there like, how did you do the bases? I must know.
Oh, you have to ask Snipsy. I don't know.
I think it was 3D printed.
So the bases are 3D printed and then he airbrushed them. Basically, I think I said in the battle report, didn't I? So I bought them off Snipsy, who's been on the channel once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely guy. So yeah.
The Eternal Crusader misses your podcast.
Jack. Mrs.
Jackus
Livoga,
Woods,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
What podcast?
We used to do the Finecast with
yeah.
Chris and Brap.
Yeah.
But yeah, it fell away.
Yeah. Which Eldar units has been chopped? I'd love
Karandras.
to be... Karandras is
the only one I know.
Anymore. He doesn't know anymore because he's literally starting Codex Eldari now.
Yes.
So as far as Sultan is concerned, this is an awesome book. And I don't like Eldar, so I don't care.
That's how I ended up with the book.
As far as 10th edition codexes go, ratemycodex.com. How good is that one? And by good, I define a good codex as, I'll show you a bad one. This is my favourite army in the faction ever. And this codex didn't make me want to play them.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Whereas when this codex came out and the Orc Codex came out, I really wanted to play them.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
A good codex makes you want to play.
That makes me want me to play. So it's up there.
It's up there.
Let's say, okay, let's give a spectrum then. So if that's a 1, the Admech Codex is a 1, like a bad.
Okay,
1 bad.
One is bad.
And then-
Admech 2...
Blood Angels and Sisters of Battle 10.
Really?
Because I collected a ton more Sisters of Battle, and I'm always reinforcing the Blood Angels, but I brought
Because
them
of
like 4
them.
times. I want to bring them back again.
Right.
They've done all the changes to the Salamanders and the White Scars, and I
Yes.
can bring and my Crimson, and I can bring them with the +1 to wound and all the character thing. And I'm not. I'm playing Blood Angels.
Admech to Sisters then.
Admech to that.
To Blood Angels. Where is
I would
Eldari?
say so. I'm not like a lifelong Eldar fan.
No, you're
But
like a
it is-
2-week Eldar fan.
A couple of months. I've had the army for a while.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, because
9?
like 9 is in. I mean, the rules are always going to change. I don't look at the book for the rules. It's the cool new models, the fact that you can run an entire aspect army, you can run an entire Harlequins army, you can run a mixed army. It's like, for me, it's like the Space Marine versatility of being able to have multiple armies and run them in different ways. This allows that, and that's fun and that's cool. So yeah, and my favourite detachment is the one I've yet to use, but I've painted the avatar ready. Is that aspect host? So
I think when we talk about detachments, I think there's a good mixture of detachments where you need to buy that stuff to play it, like the Wraith Host one or the Aspect Warrior ones. Clearly, you need them to play them. Those
it's the new
detachments
guys,
well.
yeah.
But there's also a good mix of generic stuff
There's
as well.
a lot of stuff that people will already have.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the I mean, in the bad codexes, I think
It's all new
are
stuff.
too specific
Yeah.
on you've got to play it this way. You got to like the Tyrannid Codex, for example. You've got the original one, the Invasion Swarm, and then all the other detachments are very, very specific.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's good. I think there should be a couple of at least 2 or 3 generic. Open detachments that are open enough that you can play
For
them
everyone.
with most stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree
Do
with
you know
that.
what I mean? As
And
well
that-
as the specific stuff that makes you want to buy the
and that's
stuff.
what Sisters did. They only had 4 detachments, but only one of them was like a penitent host, and the rest were all Sisters all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever you want to bring.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's great. You've got War Host, which is everyone, Wind Rider Host, which is all bikes, but you can still bring everyone.
Yeah.
Spirit Conclave, which is Seers and Wraiths, but you can still bring everyone.
Yeah.
Guardian Battle Host, which is all Guardians, but you bring everyone.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Dire Avengers.
that's the infantry heavy one, but
Yeah.
you're not just going to bring infantry. You're going to bring a bit of everything else as well.
Then you have the Harlequins, which is... I mean, we
Harlequins.
played it, and it worked well with everybody, but
Yeah.
that's because 4 Phoenix Lords aren't to be sniffed at. But,
No.
Harlequins are fun.
I hate Fugan.
Inari is everything,
yeah.
and the special characters.
The
you
only-
can't bring epic heroes.
The only restriction in the Inari one is you have to bring one of the Inari characters that they
You
sold.
must include Yvrain or the Incarn.
You've got to bring one of them.
Yeah, which is fair. It's
And then-
Inari.
and then you're not bringing any other epic heroes like Eldrad and stuff like
You
that.
can't bring the Avatar. You can't do any of that.
No.
So, yeah. Which I actually quite like, because we chatted about...
But you can bring anything else.
Well, no, we chatted about, like, they're so... Catan in the Necron's really powerful. You can bring like 3, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and we're like, you were like, well, the Avatar's better. And it's like, yes, it is, but you can only bring one. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, there's the other one. Actually, no, you can't run them at the same time. At least not here.
Not in that detachment.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't run them there actually.
But so here you go, yeah,
because
because they don't have Azayani.
keyword.
Yeah, they don't have the
Azayani
Azayani. Yeah.
keyword, so you can't run both of the avatars together at the same
Which
time.
I'm a fan of, because
I
it
kinda
stops
like that one.
stops the 2 big units, because that's 500 points a unit just going wow.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. Seer Council
Is
is
a generic. Everyone does the thing.
Yeah, Aspect Host is Aspect Warriors, but you can still bring everyone you want.
Why is the aspect host your favourite detachment?
It's multiple reasons, because one, it's a hobby goal, it's fun. They're a really colourful army.
I like the fact that you jumped in there straight away. You weren't like, oh, because of this and the rule and the thing. It was like, hobby goal. How cool would it be for you? One's in the chat, if this is a hobby goal. Like, you won the lottery tomorrow. Is this a hobby goal? You end up with a full, you can send it off, get it painted by Den of Imagination, but a full aspect host detachment with all the greens and the purples and the blues and the skittles and the autarks and
It's
the things.
Taste the
that
Rainbow.
would look cool.
It's cool. It just looks cool.
I'd love to see it on
It's
the
like the
table.
old days when you used to watch or see in the White Dwarf, like the Bretonians fight the lizard men, and it's just this riot of colour on the page, and it's that, and this is what I love.
It's definitely
So,
a hobby goal. It's
yeah.
not my hobby goal, but it's definitely a hobby goal to have full units of striking scorpions, full units of swooping hawks, full units of fire dragons, and all that jumping around.
it's-
No one agrees with Sultan's hobby goal, by the way. Brilliant. But okay, so aspect host, because it's a hobby goal. Why else is it one of your favourites? We've got one.
So the now it's the models, because hobby goal is like painting and having it fielded and how pretty it is.
It would look so cool.
The other
on
one
that.
is the models, like you've got all the new guys, especially like Lycus, the spider.
Yeah.
Girl, like the warp spider girl. They're so cool.
Yeah.
The avatar's a really cool model. Like it's yeah. I like loads of different armies. I like loads of different game systems. I'm not elitist in any way for any army.
Yeah.
I like all the armies. I like all the colourful Blood Angels. I like them red, black, and gold. It's cool. It looks great on the table. Bretonnians, Old World, Riot of Colour, Eldar, Riot of Colour, Harlequins. It's all mad. I love all that stuff. I just like colourful armies on the table.
Yeah.
And if they move fast as well, then I'm happy. So
Yeah.
colourful and moves fast. I'm happy.
They definitely look striking on the table. Zipping around all over the place. I like it.
Yeah. Don't yuck somebody's yum.
Nice. Fire prisms are nerfed. Yes, fire prisms have lost a shot. When a fire prism fires through another prism, it only has one shot rather than all the shots, which is fine.
I don't have
Because
that
fire
problem.
prisms needed that.
I don't have any.
Win the hobby lottery goal. Full Lamenter's army, complete with full Lamenter's Death Company.
Oh, left.
But,
The
I mean-
Lamenter's Death Company looks strange, don't they? Hold on.
See, look, I'll tell you, this is the hobby goals for me, right? I want all the 40k Primarchs.
Oh,
I haven't got Magnus yet, and I want the new one.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
they're
Yeah,
very
fair. They're
unlucky.
quartered black and yellow.
Yeah,
That's
they're
Fair
Ultramarine
play.
Successor chapter with horrible luck. I'd like every single Legion from Horus Heresy and every single Primarch.
yeah. I want Vulcan in 40k, but we'll get to that.
I want Vulcan in 40k.
Vulcan lives.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
every single Blood Bowl team. Could just a hobby goal. It'll look cool.
I
on
want
the
the
shelf.
one that has the ghost with the socks on the washing line. Don't play Blood Bowl.
Nice.
But yeah, the necromantic
You know,
horrors
there's
or
a-
something.
There's a tree now.
There's a tree now.
In Blood Bowl, it moves 2 because it's a tree. Just plant it in the middle. Doesn't go
Okay.
anywhere. Doesn't do
just
anything.
a
But it's a
tree.
tree.
Yeah.
It's like a toughness 10, so that you can't tackle it. You can't do it. It's a tree.
See, it's games like Blood Bowl and Old World that I particularly love. So 40k will always be the easy
Blood
grab and
Angels,
go.
yeah.
I know Elementars are. I
Yeah,
just didn't know what
sorry.
their Death Company looked
Yeah.
like. I know they're about their
Yeah.
like
The heart thing.
Yeah, the heart and the thing. That's awful. But the
Yeah.
Death Company look even more difficult.
Yeah.
So this is why I love, like, my favorite game system in all of GW at the moment is the Old World,
Right.
because 40k will always be the first love, but because it's just silly.
Right.
And same Blood Bowl, just silly. There's a rule about panic tests in Old World. So you shoot somebody enough or you hit them enough and their unit panics. But if it happens again, the rule is literally called no need for hysterics. And it says you don't have to do a panic test again. It's what it is. Like, you've already panicked once, you don't need to do it again. There's another one, terror. So you have a big dinosaur via lizard men and it has terror. So I declare a charge against some of Brap's goblins. And he has to make a leadership test. And because they're goblins, they've got shit leadership. They fail.
Yeah.
And do you know what happens when they fail a leadership test? When I try to charge in with a unit with terror?
Yeah.
They just fuck off. They ran off the table.
They're gone.
And I was just like, this is amazing. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's launching goblins from a catapult with flapping wings, trying to land on me.
Yeah.
And knocking guys off horses and things. It's great.
Yeah.
It's such a silly game. And that feels like old school GW when everything was just a little bit silly.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Grimdark, I love the Black Library novels. The way they've gone is very professional, it's great, but I just love the silliness of Old World and games like it.
Yeah. 40k. So there's different game systems. So 40k now is build an army, collect a collection,
Yeah.
and then if I play this well, can I outscore you?
Yeah.
That's the game, right?
Yeah, it's much more competitive by nature. Yeah.
It's more competitive by nature, and it's like, have I got a good list? Have I got a bad list? Can I outscore you? Now, you can play 40k narratively, and we do it all the time when we're like, well, let's ignore all that scoring stuff. We're trying to go here, you're trying to, and you set up your... So the system is flexible enough for you to set up any narrative scenarios that you want to set it up.
Yeah.
And you can play it that way too, but it's built from the ground up to be something that is balanced inherently. It's supposed to be balanced, where you can do this scalable point scoring thing.
Yeah.
Heresy and Old World isn't interested in any of that. They're just interested in, how do I bring that terror thing to life? How
Yeah.
do I what is the rule that I need? And no need for hysterics.
Yeah.
We'll put that in there.
stupidity. So if you fail a leadership test, the trolls
Yeah.
just walk up the table and do nothing all game.
Yeah, exactly. The
So
troll
fun.
can literally walk all the way past the bad guys. He's not
Yeah.
charging anything. He just
The
hits you at
zombies and the
5.
Tomb like Just Craig's Tomb Kings having unstable. If you kill enough, they just crumble to dust.
They just crumble to dust,
It's
they're
just
gone.
that's not balanced, but it's fun.
No, it's
Yeah.
not balanced at all. They're written. It's 2 different ways to go about writing a game. So what do you want from if you want something that's more complex at its core than Old World Heresy, because they're more complex at its core, but they'll bring the game to life and they plateau easier. 40k, easier to learn at its core. You can get playing straight away, but it doesn't plateau. It keeps going and going and going because it's always being released. There's always updates. There's 25,000 factions to learn. You never reach the peak of the mountain unless you are 40k all the time. But Old World Heresy, longer to learn, and you can get there quicker. You can get to the tippity top of the mountain quicker.
I like that's what I do. Like those are kind of my as 40k shifts and changes, and so I make changes that I don't like and make changes that I do like. I'm always in, but it's how far. Like am I 40k all the time, or am I dipping my toes in and out, that kind of thing. I'm always playing 40k, but it's how much I'm playing.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'd rather play Old World.
Yeah.
Or rather play Heresy.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, just because those game systems are always the same, and they maintain, the points don't change. There's like 3 pages of FAQ for the entire edition of Heresy or something, 5 pages.
Yeah, they dropped a FAQ at the start, and that's it. The points are the same, the rules are the same, and there's a FAQ.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas we get one in the 40k every 2 hours.
Every 6 months there is a balanced data slate, and then there's little things dropped. Like the Guard Codex already, I just picked it up on Saturday.
Day one.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
think.
day 0. It hadn't even released yet. They've already said these points are wrong, and Tempest of Silence have Deep Strike. I'm fine with Tempest of Silence having Deep Strike again, but I was looking through that book, and I already felt a bit like I was enjoying what I was seeing, but I was like, how much I can't remember how much of this is actually right.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want. Like when I opened up I'm going to keep saying it, the Old World tome, and I'm looking through it, it's like, I can put sticky notes. And I did, to teach Brap how to play the game, sticky notes in my book, and I know that's not going to change.
I've seen
that's
your
fine.
sticky notes. They go all the way along the top and all the way down the side.
There's so many rules. That's the only problem.
20 sticky notes in it so you can remember how to...
I had to take my stimulant to do it, and I'm focused to do it properly. So
Did you?
I was like, I need to go focus mode and do this one. Yeah.
Having said all that, do you enjoy playing 40k?
I absolutely do. There's nothing. I was going to say there's nothing wrong with 40k. There are certainly some things wrong, but it's still my first love. It's what got me into this hobby, and I love it. So
It's just a different game.
yeah, it's just a different game. And I
like-
got no problem with it. It's my easy game. I don't have to think too much to play 40k.
Yeah, at King in the North, the community event of the weekend, I had 3 incredible games. I enjoyed every single one. Every single one. I forget who I played in the 3rd game. Who did I play in the 3rd?
Yeah, it's Sammy in the Discord.
It's Sammy.
Yeah.
I think I scared him a little bit.
Is it World Eaters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went full Winters because
Yeah.
I was really excited. It was Thing, and I was like, I'm 2-0. You'll not defeat me. And I was screaming and shouting and jumping around the table and being a clown and being a jester and having a great time. And he's been to events before. He knows what I'm like. He's seen me drunk.
Yeah.
But
And then he defeated you.
and then he defeated me. And then I leapt across the table and superflex, picked up his miniatures and threw them across the room. And I think I upset him. Apparently you're not supposed to throw miniatures across the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was great fun. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed
good.
40k.
40k is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a game in the evening. That's that after you'd left. I played with my Black Templars against Rapid. It was a fun game. He had Drukhari.
Stuart Field says, we have layers of player involvement at the local club where it feels like no one truly knows the rules anymore. 40k.
Yeah. I don't think you have to. I mean, I've probably, when I play games that aren't filmed,
Yeah.
not 40k because we've got that down, but
Yeah.
if I'm playing Heresy
Yeah.
with someone who isn't you, because you've got those rules down,
Yeah.
I'm getting rules wrong.
Yeah.
But neither of us care because it's the we don't necessarily realise in the moment, but also we were aware that we're probably going to make mistakes. But as long as the right mindset is there of just we're here to have fun.
Do people get rules wrong?
Really? Yeah.
I've never seen a battle report on YouTube from anyone ever where someone's made a rules mistake. I thought it was impossible to get rules wrong at 40k.
It is impossible. But 40k, yeah, I'm talking about Heresy.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Heresy, it's possible.
Yeah. No, which the thing is, but like no one. unless someone absolutely knows, it's like, oh, this is actually it goes,
Right.
and we do that.
Yeah.
But I was playing at Brap and I was trying to teach him over. I probably got so many rules wrong, but he had a
Yeah.
great time and so did I, and that's all that matters.
To be fair, Games Workshop get the rules wrong as well, so we have day zero facts.
There is that, yeah.
This is... Oh, sorry, we forgot to give them... They should have deep
They've
strike.
learned from the video game industry, haven't they?
Yeah,
But
day
the
one.
problem is it's not digital.
No, which is why if they were digital and free and online all the time, it would get rid of that and they'd stop putting rules in the books.
There's some rules we ignore, right? I mean, Stuart's just brought up a good one. We don't use the pivot rules really.
Don't really.
Yeah, because who cares? Like,
I don't think any...
unless it's like super. I mean, we never did the whole thing where you run forward and spin a tank around anyway. Like,
No.
we don't move tanks backwards. I always
Yeah.
roll mine forwards or backward. Like literally, they move along their tracks.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I move my tanks. I don't go the weird diagonals.
Most tanks don't go that way anymore in 40k. Most tanks go that way in 40k.
What's that way?
Sideways up and down the table.
Oh
rather than
yeah, the ones
forwards.
I've seen. This is not going to translate well, is it? It's where they sort of go like if it's over here,
Yeah.
and it goes like just like 45-degree angle. That's not.
Yeah,
That's not.
they
Doing anything.
use them to hide miniatures behind and blocking and things like that and side on. And I'm using my Land Raider and I'm putting it in that part of the street there. There's a street. I put my Land Raider there, side on, so then you can't see the squad behind that are shooting over there. That's how vehicles are used, and because of that, they came up with the pivot rules. I'm sure everyone in the chat though loved the pivot rules. I'm sure everyone. Hi, Brapscallion.
Barpo Scallions.
Good evening, Nosh Ferratu as well. But yeah, pivot rules. Pivot rule. Just keep ignoring them. Apart from Trask, I think everyone in the chat uses the pivot rules. It's probably a really good set of rules that Games Workshop wrote. Right?
Sorry, I stopped listening to you. You said pivot rules, and I just
Brap,
turned off. Yeah.
You got to go back at the stuff at the beginning. I was if I knew that you were coming this evening, I wouldn't have said out loud that the King in the North event that we just had, community event at the weekend, was probably the best event I've ever been to. Better than Gibraltar and everything. It was lovely. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Yeah, his lighting is just a hobby lamp.
Look, we could do this,
That doesn't help.
but that doesn't help, and it washes out the front camera for the thing. So what professional people do is put up some lights here, like I've got in that room, so they're coming down that way. Those lights. But then I don't know where I could attach one on that side to those shelves, but I don't know about that, and it's pokey in here, isn't it?
You read Bloodlines yet?
Yes, you can have that back as well.
Yes. Enjoyable book. Did you enjoy your short jaunt into Hive City living?
For a standalone book from the Warhammer Crime series, check out Bloodlines by Chris Raitt. He's the guy who writes all about the White Scars. He did
Warhawk and
Warhawk
Scars.
and Warhawk in
And the Watchers of the Throne series.
and the Watchers.
With
They're
Valerian.
good as well.
He's
Yeah.
good enough that they've made characters in Heresy for him, and they've made characters in 40k for him in model form.
Thanks for that book, Sultan. That was really good.
Welcome. I really enjoyed it. It's just a detective story set in Warhammer worlds. So.
There's a bit. One of his mates is he's a conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist, and he's like, hey, I heard on the news slam thing that they found a gene stealer up at the North
Frozen
Pole.
in the North Pole. Yeah, yeah. It's like, Jesus, aren't real.
Yeah. The detectives, gene
Yeah.
stealers, they don't exist. That's a nice little touch, and it just in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a thing, things are going on. That's thrown out. That those little breadcrumbs are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't they say don't do that instead of writing a full legal document? What on pivot rules? Have you met a tournament player? Then you'll know. Right, what have we got? What professional people do, says the professional. What?
Technically, yeah, you're like a self-eating snake. Like, you're joking about not being professional when you are actually a professional by every stretch of the word 40k YouTuber.
I'm not professional, though.
It's your profession.
I'm an unprofessional professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are professional.
I think if I started being professional, I might break the internet. Like, there was this one time where I took it very professionally and went away to the No Retreat Legends event in 2021 and smashed them all.
I'm so sorry, I stopped listening again. I was reading the chat. Yeah, you're probably talking about something. I mean, someone just mentioned about you heard of a guy who won something, so I assumed it was to do with that.
Winters, have you discussed that you brought a full tournament sweat list to the casual? It wasn't a full tournament sweat list. I didn't go 3-0. It was 2-1. I accidentally bought a strong list, and I told you this is a strong list, but it's not. I could have made it a lot dirtier. I didn't have a Catan in it. I did bring Starshat and Necrons, but I didn't put a Catan. Add Catan, strong. Add 2 Catans, really strong.
Catans are strong.
Never accused you of being good at your professional, but you are a pro. Thanks, Blood Buffalo. I appreciate you. I'm not good at my professional, but not good at it. Not good at
Rap,
all.
it's like someone punching a kid and going, at least I'm not kicking.
Again, I stopped listening to you. Let's talk about the Eldar Codex. Any questions? I don't know how you hide user from the channel, put him in timeout.
No, I wanted to react to it, but you can't do it.
See, you're touching buttons, and I never touch buttons on the podcast when the podcast is going on because I'm afraid I might screw it up. I'm convinced that Winter's left the guard win. What? Who?
Lets the guests win to be a good host half the time. Look, you've clearly not been around very long, Ben. You don't know our relationship because do you know what he did to me the first time I ever played? Several first times. Yeah. He smashed me. The whole point during COVID, for those 3 years where it was just me and you playing, he just... It was literally, what are you going to do to bully Sultan this week?
Yeah, it became a thing until you actually learn how to play the game, and then it was... What I do is, here's something I don't do. I don't bring the strongest, craziest list for every single game I play. What would be the point? I play a lot of 40k, and if I did that, let's face it, you guys would get bored. By the end of 2025, Winters would not lose a game. I'd win them all. I am the 2021 No Retreat Legend, the Legends champions. It's a bit like when I watch Tabletop Tactics, and there's Lawrence playing, I know who's going to win. What I try and do in my games is before a game begins is I'm picking lists and attachments that I find interesting, that I want to play. And then I know there's certain people who are going to turn up with sweaty lists, and I know there's certain people who turn up with quite narrative lists. So I know whether I need to turn the power up or turn the power down. And if I'm playing with someone that I've never played before, I ask them, are we going full on Gorgonzola, or are you trying to do something narrative and So I don't want to. I like to play games that are close all the time. I aim to have lists that are around the same power. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys play 40k all the time, or whatever system you play, and you know when you're teaching someone new coming up. You know what I mean? You try and play with someone around the same power. That's when the game comes alive.
I think.
For me, I enjoy it more.
I make lists, so I never follow the meta because I never have. But I make a narrative idea, I think is how I do it, or a narrative army. So if I'm playing Raven Guard, it's going to be Phobos.
Yeah.
I don't care how good or bad Phobos is, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But then I know what's good in that book, so I will then, in that narrative vein, bring a few of the good bits. So it's a strong enough list to hold its own if someone were to be a bit nasty. I mean, it's going to still fall apart to anyone being nasty, but yeah. And the same with the Blood Angels. It's jump packs and combat because that's how they play, and that's the narrative way for me to play them.
Yeah.
But then I know what's spicy in that. So
yeah. Well, it turns out that your preferred way of playing Blood Angels with the collection that you have is strong. So I know that.
I mean, it's designed that way.
It's supposed to be.
Same with my Black Templars. I'm a combat army.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So when I go up against those armies, unless you turn around to me and say, I'm trying something new today, it might not be. I know that I have to dial it up a bit.
Yeah.
But when you turned up with all the Death Company, like we knew we were playing Death Company, we knew what you were doing, so I could bring a more experimental list. Here's another good example. From the Eldar game, I know you haven't got a big Eldar collection. And you turned around to me and said, I wanted to play with all my Harlequins and add in some of the new aspect stuff. And I said, well, that isn't going to be that strong. I'll be fine. I'll go Firstborn 40k and I'll bring some drop pods and I'll bring all the stuff that I think is going to be fun. And boy, did I underestimate that. And I said it in the video at the end. I say, I don't think I've underestimated an army as much as I underestimated that army. It turned out to be really strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought, hey, because you weren't building a list, you were putting together the collection that you had.
The bits I wanted to play. So I do
You didn't have
a
10,000 points of Eldar, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to add this, and I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to put this in. You didn't have that with your Eldar collection. It was like, you had this and this. This is all I can field, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have the Craft World that
Yes.
Ken he's in the chat. I've seen him, Fabius Ball. He
Thank you for 7 months, blah, blah, float.
yeah, he gave me the Craft World Eldar, and they will be coming along. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've done like my little changes. Basically, when Ken gave me those Eldar, I said, "Do you mind if I add my own little flair to them? Because that's
Yeah.
how I get attached to an army." And he's like, "Yeah, do what you want." So I kept his color scheme, but then I added a few little bits and pieces, like some
Yeah.
thorns. They're wood elves, basically, or rangers and stuff. So there will be a day where I bring just them. There'll be a day where I bring a mix with bits and pieces here and there. I'll bring some Craft World, some Harlequins, some whatever, and play whatever. But yeah, my next goal is probably just to bring a normal Craft World list and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then once I've finished my Aspect Warriors, there'll be and they'll be rough because it'll be all the Phoenix Lords and the Avatar.
Yeah.
So bring some nasty stuff.
I think the Aspect Warrior list is going to be strong. Going forward, I think the whole army either reroll hit rolls one or reroll wound rolls one. So it's kind of like Fate Dice-ish. Like they're manipulating the dice.
It's Oath of Moment, but just once.
It's like having a 9th or to 8th edition captain or lieutenant round all the time.
Yeah.
And there's an enhancement which you can put on a unit so they reroll all hit rolls one and reroll all wound rolls one all the time. But the fact that you can do that on the Avatar, for example, the fact that you can do it on Howling Banshees that hit on 2s, so rerolling 1s
Fight
anyway.
first,
Yeah,
all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or Fire Dragons that in a lot of cases are going to be wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. You know what I mean?
I think it's going to be a really, really killy army.
Yeah.
But except for the Avatar, it's going to be very easy to kill back. Well, Avatar and the Phoenix Lords, because Fugan gets back up.
Lords,
Yeah. But Fugan's the toughest of the lot.
Fugan gets back up again, but also Barhoth can jump back up and away.
But if he takes Sustained Fire, he is gone.
Yeah, but if you do a full Aspect Warrior host detachment, you're probably bringing along another chunky thing other than just the Avatar. You're probably having a couple of tanks in the backfield, or you're thinking about just everything on foot.
Well, I did the maths on the points in the back of the book as they are at the moment. They will probably change. But adding one of every squad and every Phoenix Lord who exists,
Yeah.
and adding a Autarch to the Striking Scorpions because they don't have, and then adding 2 squads of Shining Spears because there's only 3.
Okay.
So basically either having a blob of 6 or 2 3s.
Okay.
And the Avatar takes you to like 2k.
And that's 2k right
That's
now.
2k right there. Yeah.
Sam,
6 Phoenix Lords.
Sam Nash, been on channel a few times. Also a member of the Ireland team for the WTC, ITC, GCSE, RAC, RAF. 6x6 Wind Riders is really strong, plus Warwalk and Shroud Runners.
Yeah,
That's the Wind Rider detachment where they are going a very long way.
Yeah.
And Warwalkers do what Sentinels do
By Ken.
in Guard. They shoot at a thing and then you get +1 AP when other things shoot at the thing. That's what Warwalkers do.
Yeah. I do have some Wind Riders thanks to Ken. I've got 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to have 6x6, but that's a lot of bikes. That's a lot of bikes. It's 36
Is
bikes.
Fabius Bile Ken?
Yes.
He's got to go and get his son.
Yeah.
How do you know his real name?
Because I've met him at events.
Have I met him?
Probably.
He's not here now. You can.
I mean,
Was he at King of the North?
He's been at many events. He's been at your events, yeah. Back when you did Factorium, when we've been at Element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are Wraith Knights now?
Oh, I don't know.
The same.
There's 2 types now. Was it all one data sheet before?
I'm not sure, but there's the shooty ones,
And there's a stabby
and then
ones.
there's the stabby one with the invulnerable save. The interesting thing about Wraith Knights is they actually have battle focus. The other,
That's so quick,
the
isn't
other
it?
Wraith constructs, such as Wraith Lords, Wraith Guard, Wraith Blades, don't have battle focus, and the way to give them battle focus is to take the Wraith detachment and have Psykers nearby, and then they get the pluses to their movement. They can move when you shoot them. They can do all the things and things. But they actually have battle focus in their thing.
Yeah, so the shooty one...
2-up save, 18 wounds, toughness 12.
And it can, if it's shooting something with its Wraith Cannon, heavy Wraith Cannon or Sun Cannon within half range, you re-roll the dice to determine how many shots it has.
And what does the big cannon do these days?
Heavy Wraith Cannon is D3 shots, strength 20, -4, 2d6 damage, devastating.
2d6 damage, that's swingy. So the old Rupture cannon on the T-Fex used to be like that. Remember when it was 2d6, too swingy? But it's D3 shots a time, so if they have 2 of them, that's 2d3 shots.
You know the Scatter Shield isn't just a 4-up invuln, right? It's also subtract 1 damage.
-1 damage.
That's strong. I didn't see that.
Is that on the other one
That's
as well?
on the other one too, yeah. Start Scatter Shield.
Scatter Shield -1 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, they're good.
Yeah. How many points are they right now?
They're good.
Yeah.
So they are as tough as knights, Imperial Knights,
They spenny though.
with less wounds,
Yeah.
but they've got -1 damage with the Scatter Shield.
Wraith Knight Shooty is 435 points, probably going to change. And then the Wraith Knight with
Punchy.
Stabby, which can also take a Wraith Cannon if it
He
wants.
can if he wants to.
Is 395 points.
Yeah, that's knight. Yeah,
Angron level, like points wise. Angron's 425 or something like that. So
yes,
yeah,
but a lot of Imperial Knights are around the 400.
Yeah,
a
it's an
bit
Imperial
less
Knight
than
cost.
that now. Like that Rampager there is 365. So
yeah.
there's some real teeth in there. Eldar are going to change the meta. Wind Riders are really quick, and they'll be able to get wherever they need to be to score whatever they need to score. Aspect Warriors are going to be really killy. There is some the Wraith thing as well. Suddenly have a whole army. So Wraith Blades, Wraith Guard used to be toughness 7. They've gone down to toughness 6.
Yeah.
But they have a 2-up save, giving them battle line and an OC of 2. So
They don't have battle focus though.
no, but in the detachment you give them battle focus.
In the detachment, you give them battle focus.
So the Wraith detachment is take these guys.
Yeah.
They get line OC2 and
Yeah.
get battle focus.
Yeah. Wraiths have always been strong though, right?
And having a whole army running around. So it's like having an army of Terminators, right? So
Yeah.
toughness. So Terminators are tough.
So you don't get OC2, but you do get battle line.
Okay. You get OC, I think, if there's the spirit thing nearby, because the spirits do the things and the spirits do the things. There's a way to give them more OC.
Probably, yeah.
The thing is, Terminators are toughness 5 with a 2-up save and 3 wounds, right?
Yeah.
So they're the same as Terminators, but an extra toughness,
Yeah.
but quick.
Yeah.
So imagine an entire army of Terminators that are quick, running around all over the place.
Yeah. I think they're more. I'm going to double check in a second, but I think they're more points.
Maybe.
The Spirit Seer doesn't give them OC either.
Something gives them OC, I forget what it is.
Probably enhancement somewhere, isn't there?
Spirit Seer means they hit on 3s instead
Oh, there you
of
go.
4s.
Spirit Seer, Light of Clarity enhancement. Add 1 to the objective control to infantry.
Yeah.
So select 1 friendly wave construct within 12 inches. To the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the OC of infantry or add 3 to monsters.
Yeah. Because the Wraith Lords
Yeah.
have the things. Yeah.
There you go. So that's how you do it with the enhancement. If you're running that.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to look at their points now.
So I think that one's got one, particularly with some Wraith Lords, right? Because you're going to have some Spirit Seers, you're going to have some Psykers in there as well, because that buffs
170
them.
points, both of them. Yeah. Bit cheaper than Terminators, but
A
you
little
need
bit
to have a
cheaper than-
character with them to make them worthwhile, right? And the
Yeah.
character is let's find him, 65 points. So that's a little bit more expensive.
Well, you don't have a character, you have 3 or 4 or 5 characters.
I meant
around,
per
that's the
squad,
thing.
right? So
Yeah,
you have squad with
They,
character.
they're not attached, they're lone op.
Oh, they're not
And
attached.
they're like, you don't shoot them. I studied this book for my Eldar Codex review, you know.
No, they're not attached.
Studied it.
Yeah. I have some of these. I have a squad of each and a dude, a Spirit Seer.
It was a very interesting book to read as well. I enjoyed studying that one. Tell you what, you know the Guard. I got the Guard Codex and
Good
I
book.
played some Guard and I'm playing Guard now and enjoyed the Guard Codex.
Like guard.
And I'm really looking forward to playing some more Guard, by the way, because I did come around your house one time and broke out all the tanks and that one went really badly.
Yeah.
Um,
Witches can't deal with tanks.
witches can't deal with tanks.
And I told you I was bringing witches.
Yeah, but I assumed that you had some anti-tank with your witches. Like Dark Eldar have some anti-tank as well.
They do,
But
but
maybe bringing 7 tanks and one of them being a super heavy was too many tanks.
it was the super heavy with the -1 damage that did it, yeah.
How many tanks is too many tanks? 7 is probably the number.
I brought a balanced list, you brought that.
But yeah, that book, for me, reading through it was more interesting than the Guard book.
I think they're... I don't want to
There's
sound
more-
pretentious. I think there's a very intellectual way to play these guys. It sounds so dumb, doesn't it? But you need certain things match with certain things, and you need to play them in certain ways to make them work. Like the Tau, you need to play them certain ways to do it.
Is it because you're playing Eldar now? It's
No.
Sultan's playing Eldar now. You need to be intellectual to play Eldar.
No, I don't think you do. I just think there's smart ways to play it.
There's smart ways to play it.
Whereas World Eaters, there aren't.
Which is why I'm not playing it. World Eaters...
Run at the enemy and swing, which I'm also all for.
Yeah, I mean...
Like Blood Angels are the smart way to play World Eaters. You know? There you go, that's how I look at it. I'll stand by that one.
Blood Angels are World Eaters for smart people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Blood Angels are fun, but they only play one way.
They play a couple of ways. Because you've got the one that
What's
just goes
the other
run in
way?
and fight, and you've got the jump pack one to deploy all over the board.
Yeah, but they
and
just
run
want to get in and fight.
No, they want us to nick objectives, which is why I haven't brought
And
that.
fight.
That's why I haven't brought that list. Because they just want to run around.
We're talking Blood Angels.
Yeah.
No, sorry, World Eaters.
No, you said Blood Angels.
Did I? I meant World
That's why I said, yeah. No, World Eaters are just smash. What's going on with that?
I don't know. Someone's discovered the emoji button and is spamming the crap out of it.
You might get timed out if you keep going. It's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes YouTube goes, nah.
Yeah, YouTube
Stops
will
it.
screw you.
Yeah. Oh, it's Spencer. Hello.
Hi, Wrath of Constantine. How do you know these people's real names?
I'm in a group chat with him because we're doing Heresy Wab together, and I'm picking him up from here.
Corncast not yet. And so after he fights me the day before weekend at Bernie's,
Yes.
you're coming to get him from here, what, in the evening or in the morning?
I think because we normally get there on like the Friday.
You get there on a Friday.
So like the Friday night, the night before.
Right.
Okay, and then we do the day.
Yeah.
The 2 days. It's 2 days because Heresy's a long day. It's 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
So you're gonna come and get him on the Friday.
We pick him up on the Friday. We drive to the place.
Yeah.
We go to stay at the place, and then we drink some beers, and then we do the day of Heresy, then we do more beers, and then we do another day of Heresy, and then we all go home feeling ill.
He's like, hi Sam. Who's Sam? Sam was in the chat up there. Sam Nash. Yeah. Winters, you should do a game with Tyranids where every turn a wave of Tyranids appear or something like
We've done that, haven't we? We did some cool games like that. Similar feel.
Yeah. The thing about I've done it before.
We've done loads. We've done it several times with
I've done
like
it
the
in
small
other
games.
editions.
Yeah.
I've done it when no.
Battle barges normally,
Yeah.
not battle barges. Space Hulks normally.
Yeah, and then some more waves and some more waves. The thing is, I've done it, so I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Servos Girl gifted 5 Winters SEO memberships. Thank you very much. Sultan game on the lead up to WAB.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but yeah, we can do it. Winters still tells me everything I need to be doing.
I'll get you down.
We can do
I'll
it.
get you down. When you go to WAB, you'll be destroying Just Craig.
I don't want to destroy people.
Well, you'll be.
I just want to know what's happening.
See, Just Craig, when I met him and he started coming around for the 30k stuff, I used to beat him all the time as well, and now I've turned him into a monster. Now I can barely touch the sides. He's not. GG, thank you very much, Service Gold. GG's. However, that does remind me, tomorrow on the Winter Tier 3 Battle Report for Winters SEO channel members is 5,000 points Horus Heresy Battle Report, Horus Ascended versus the Raven Guard. And Horus Ascended on his own is 1,000 points.
He big model.
He's a big model. 1,000 points.
Take on Titans and win.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
He should be able to.
He can.
Yeah.
He literally can.
Yeah.
So that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Horus Ascended versus Korax. Well, basically, Korax spends most of the game trying to run away from Horus Ascended.
At least that's in keeping with his character, jumping and flitting about and shooting him. I mean, Sanguinius didn't have a chance. Poor Korax won't.
Sanguinius
can
is
we
the best.
please have Korax come back as well in 40k as like a demon prince, a loyalist demon prince?
They're all coming back.
Please.
Here's what I'd like to see. I've run this idea by you. Okay. Imagine for a minute now.
Dragons.
There's a run up. There's a book series. ADB, Chris Raitt, Dan Abnett do the thing. Do a book series. Like Eisenhorn. So it's a trilogy. and it leads up to the launch of 11th, 12th edition, whatever, 12th edition box set. The miniatures are going to come out in the box set, right?
Right.
But this trilogy gets in, and it's been written by proper Black Library writers about the return of the horror from the warp and the return of the hero from the warp, and it all stirring up all the stuff and da-da-da. And the horror that emerges from the warp is Lehman Russ, and he's gone bad.
Ooh.
I want a loyalist retired Primarch's gone bad, but here's the kicker. Say Perturabo comes back and he's good. You know all the rumours about bad Perturabo back in the day? Perturabo at the end of the Horus Heresy hasn't given in to chaos yet. Right at the end. He's tinkering around, he flies off. In the book, there's a short story called Iron Within, which is in the end and the death. So we get.
Didn't he do the cage though, and then he became a demon prince after that?
It can all be retconned.
Oh, okay.
Because the Iron Cage is still a thing, and you can still have the Iron Cage, and then the Demon Primarch. There's bits of. But imagine we have a trilogy, and then the twist is here's a good Primarch which turned bad, and here's a bad Primarch which never turned bad, and say, well, vast bits of the Iron Warriors have gone off and gone bad and bad and bad and bad. Imagine if Perturabo reappeared with the Iron Warriors, half of his legion, and they had never turned bad, and they'd been fighting against chaos in the Eye of Terror for the last 10,000 years.
I mean, he won't be Imperial though, so it'd be a different faction, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
because they're not having him back.
But he's coming back to I know but he comes back as a good guy. Lehman Russ or Corax or someone is a bad guy. And then on the box art, 12th edition, you have the two Primarchs and the two new factions going at it. I like that idea.
I'm glad you like that idea.
It's just, I think all the Primarchs are coming back. And if all the Primarchs come back, they have an opportunity to mess with the lore a little bit.
See, this is why. So I think that would be very bold, because a lot of Space Wolf players would be absolutely fuming.
Lehman Russ is a bad guy.
They're all bad guys. None of them are good. I think that's the point. So I think the way they could do things while keeping it interesting without necessarily having to go quite that far is you bring Valdor back as an impartial.
Okay.
You bring him back as a new faction.
Yeah.
He doesn't ally with Imperium. He doesn't ally with Custodes. He's his own thing.
Yeah.
Doing his own thing, making
we could do that with
sons.
Perturabo as well.
Let's do it with Valdor, because they've already established he's about.
Do it with Valdor, right.
For now.
Okay.
And then, bring Corax back as a demon prince, but he's loyalist, but they won't have him.
Yeah.
So he's still loyal Imperium keyword, but if he's on the table, there's a special rule that means like everyone around him has to stay away or something, whatever. Just like make him this big horrible model with big crow wings.
Yeah.
And some can hand over, but I'd love the idea if there was like a bit of a witch hunt for him, because it's like, well, that's Chaos Corrupted Primarch. In
the Primarchs anthology, there is a short story with Demon Corax, and he fights Lorgar. And Corax is like, look what happened to you, brother. And Lorgar's like, look what happened to you. And he's like, I've only become my full potential. This is what the Emperor intended. I mean, one of them had wings. One of them had one eye and turned into a warp beast. One of them could see the future. They all had a little bit of spice put in them when the Emperor stole fire from the gods at Moloch. This is their full potential. But Corax was in his full demon Primarch mode, but not demon. Because the warp isn't bad. Psychers use the warp. Navigators use the warp. Astropaths use the warp. The Emperor uses the warp. Malcador uses the warp. The warp is neither good nor bad. The warp is. It just is. Isn't it?
Yeah. I guess my only thing with that is like, why are there not more good things in the warp? I know there's some, like Celestine, like things like that. Not Kaiganil, what's her name? Ephros Stern.
No, I've got an answer to that question. This is exactly it. There is a god of bunnies. There is all the love and all the hope and all those human emotions.
They just get eaten.
They get eaten by the sharks in the warp, yeah.
It sounds like Nagash in AOS, who's just like, they are the good gods of the afterlife, and Nagash is like, no, all me, Nam.
Yeah.
And just eats them. Like, it just absorbs their power.
Exactly.
I'm actually listening to Soul Wars now, which is, I know you don't care for AOS, but it's a really good book, because I like my skeletons,
nice,
and I like my ghosts and things. And it's about, it's a wider story in this, but it's about a town in the middle of the realm of death.
Yeah.
That has to defend itself, and it's got some Stormcast Eternals there.
Right.
It's got cities
in
of Sigmar
the middle
there.
Of the realm
in
of
the middle of the realm of death,
nice.
as Nagash sets the nadir that starts releasing the undead across the world. When they did the second edition launch, it was all ghosts and stuff. It's set around that time, and it's a really fun book because it's just fun fantasy.
Yeah.
And Sigmar, who is a god king, is in it.
Right.
And he's not fighting because he has to literally hold the stars in the sky. That's kind of
Yeah.
his thing. And it's really cool. Bit like when we were reading Heresy and you have the big characters in it.
Yeah.
The god of death is in it.
Yeah.
The Chaos gods are actively attacking the god of death. You
Nice.
have the god King Sigmar. And I was like, I know AOS isn't the most popular thing, but it is a fun story. And if you just detach yourself from the fact they destroyed the old world to do it, it's fun.
Mark's
So-
out of 10.
I think it's a 9, but that's because I really like spoopy shit.
I'm writing it down.
I like spoopy stuff, and I'd recommend
Spoopy.
listening to it on Audible because the guy who reads it does awesome
Is
voices.
it Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble?
No, it's a guy I hadn't heard of before.
What's
but
it
it's,
called?
Soul Wars.
Soul Wars. Is it
Yeah.
a single book or is it
It's a
many
single
books?
book. It's a long book, 16 hours to listen to.
I like that idea. Soul
Yeah.
Wars Audible. I'm currently going through. I mean, you've done the Eisenhorn, Ravener, Beckwin, all of that. I'm currently going through that on Audible for the first time. I think it's all Jonathan Keeble, Toby Longworth.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
Because it does put you off when you get a bad narrator.
No,
like
agreed.
the good narrators sound like they're telling you a story.
Yeah.
And the bad narrators feel like they're reading you a story.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like you're sat around a campfire hearing it and they're doing the
Yeah.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, happy with. Yeah, agree. I think you enjoy it. You might stop because
So-
there's a lot of Nagash is all in all is Nagash, and he says that a few times. But he's the god of death. He's going to repeat himself. So,
I am
yeah.
not entirely ignorant of the AOS lore.
No, I know you're not.
I'm a
but-
professional, apparently. People keep telling me.
But I think it's cool, and one of the reasons I started listening to it is because multi-factors is my hobby goals again.
Right.
They've just shown off all the new Soulblight Gravelords stuff
Right.
for AOS, which is vampires and skeletons and ghosts and
Yeah.
blah. I'm going to nickel that
Yeah.
and do it for Vampire Counts Age of Sigmar. So Age of Sigmar, Old World. So
I thought you was about to tell me after starting Old World Heresy and 40k you were going to do AOS
I
as
don't
well.
have anyone near me who plays AOS. So
Right.
I've got Old World is like a treat once in a while I get to play.
Yeah.
Heresy and 40k I play regularly with you. I don't
Yeah.
have anyone near me who plays Age of Sigmar.
You're going to need a bigger boat to
I'm
store
gonna-
it all.
yeah. Yeah, Paul plays Age of Sigmar.
Which Paul?
Say hi, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going up to see him soon.
Well, he isn't as interested in playing Age of Sigmar since they... So what happened was in 40k, when things started changing and you needed PhDs in 9th edition, a lot of people left 40k for AOS.
Yeah.
Because AOS still had that fun, simple system. Mm-hmm. And then they 40k'd AOS to turn it into what they've done to 40k. So all the people who left 40k to join AOS have now left AOS. So
Well,
I know Say Hi Paul isn't playing as much AOS
Yeah.
as he used to play. He plays some. Fortunately, there was the parachute, which was heresy, which caught him.
Yeah.
Or the thing.
Yeah, I can feel like a bit of free fall if that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know when I sort of fell out of love with 40k, even for like a month or two, it was like, what the heck do I do now?
Yeah.
Because that's my hobby. That's my
Yeah.
big hobby. Well, yeah, no, yeah. See, yeah, he's still playing AOS. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't remember if he'd said it, but yeah, keen to.
No,
do
I
that.
mean, it goes... See, the 40k hobby, you've got to hold on to that bull.
Yeah.
Because it'll keep trying to throw you off. And I've said it on a few different live streams as well now. What you want is projects. It doesn't matter what edition you're in. But if your project now is to build up your aspect warriors, so you've got an aspect warrior thing.
Yeah.
There'll be times like right now, they're going to be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And in 6 months' time, they still will be. 6 years' time, maybe not.
But they're still there.
But they're still
Yeah.
there, and you've got this project. And there's never not going to be a time when you're collecting and playing Eldar that adding in 6 years' time or 16 years' time, adding a chunk of aspect warriors to a list, adding a chunk of once it's done, it's done. So it's
Which is how they normally play, right? You just put a squad or two in. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. But no, I agree. I that's why I enjoy projects. Like whenever I start a new army, usually because of the hobby mojo hits, it's when like there's a release. So when the Templars came out in 9th, it was like, right, now's the time to do Templars because they're doing all the new Templar stuff.
Yeah.
So what I decided, my Templar list would start with one of everything. That's a collection, not a list. So what you
Yeah.
do is you get one of everything. You go, this is how I'm going to play them, and then you add bits and pieces, and over time you have an army. And that's how it's ended up. And that was my project. Just over time, add those.
Are you excited for the Emperor's Children?
No,
Why not?
I can appreciate the good models, but they just don't. They don't do anything for me.
Have you got any Chaos yet?
World Eaters,
World Eaters don't count.
do they not count?
Well, you said they were worse Blood Angels.
They're
stupid
they
Blood
they
Angels.
are they're the dark shadow to the Blood Angels. Yeah,
See, once you
they're
turn,
what they could have been.
once you move to World Eaters, you got that drop in there, that little drop of chaos. Before you know it,
I actually still prefer playing my Blood Angels. Like
What?
I played the World Eaters and they don't hit as hard as I'd like.
they do hit hard. They
No,
hit like
they
World.
just fall over, whereas my Blood Angels go in and do the job. That's what I've noticed. I've played them a couple of times, and my world, like, I just was never quite satisfied with how they performed. And it's
What?
probably that disappointment that led Angron to turn to Chaos anyway. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So you've heard it here first, folks. World Eaters are shit.
I didn't say that. I just think Blood Angels are better.
World Eaters are blood angels for stupid people.
I did say that.
Yeah.
Not in those words, but I did say that.
Definitely
Yeah.
going to tell Alex Sessio when he comes around on Friday.
I know, Al. He'll probably be like, yeah.
Yeah.
You just run at people. No,
Yeah.
it's falling back and charging and jumping back into orbit or anything.
Yeah.
No, run at you.
The King of the North, he brought Angron and some World Eaters and went, eh.
Yeah.
That
And he
was-
lost all his games. He had a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fighting against World Eaters and fighting with World Eaters is fun, though.
Oh no, it's fun. It's totally fun. I just prefer. I'm not interested in any other chaos. Ever since we've discussed, you were always like, "You can do chaos," and I was like, "It'd be World Eaters if I do." That was all
Yeah.
I ever said, and now
Yeah.
I've done it, and I'm like, "Cool,
Yeah.
happy." And it's only because I found them for a deal.
I'll tell you what, I nearly shit the bed when you said you were doing Eldar as well. I'm like, what? But then,
It's because of Ken,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause of
Because
Ken.
he was like, "Just either you want an army," and I was
Yeah.
like, "You know, I could buy an army off you." And he's like, "No, you can just have it." And I was like, "Well, I'll definitely take the army. Then. Thank you, Ken."
if
So
someone's
yeah,
giving you an army, then
yeah. It was another project. It was like really quick and easy, just to
yeah.
add my little flair to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's how I ended up with them. And it turns out actually, because I was like, these are cool. I don't know how I'm going to play them. And
Yeah.
then Snipsy's Harlequins came up, and I was like, I'll grab them
Yeah.
because I've always wanted Harlequins as well. Of all the Eldar,
Yeah.
other than Drakari,
I mean,
this one's
Harlequins painted well
yeah,
look amazing. Look
Yeah.
like no other faction on the tabletop.
yeah,
Like when you walk past some space, so what is that one? And you take a double look. Oh, yeah. But Harlequins, no. And Snipsy's Harlequins are amazing.
they are really nicely done. I used to use an airbrush, but I didn't really enjoy it, and he's good with an airbrush,
Yeah.
so he's done some good jobs on there. But yeah, and then it turns out my actual true love in this book is the Aspect Warriors because they're just so bright and shiny and colourful.
The one that really sung to me in there, though, was I like the idea of assembling a full Wraith project with a couple
You
of
would,
Wraith
you like
Knights,
rock lists.
a couple of Wraith Lords, a couple of Wraith Blades, and the things, and it's like a nice 4,000 points worth of Wraith stuff in some ghosty kind of scheme with washed out blues and greens. It's almost
did
like a
skulls
sea,
on mine.
like lots of white everywhere with these wavy blues and greens, ghosty type effects.
Nighthaunt looking.
It would
yeah.
look Nighthaunt looking. Would
Yeah.
look really, really cool. I wouldn't want to play it because it's Eldar, and that way madness lies. But I've always said that the Games Workshop make the best miniatures, and their miniatures look fire. They look good.
I think the only Wraith thing I'd like to add is the Knight. Is it Wraith Knight?
Wraith Knight.
Because it's just a cool big model, and we like cool big models.
Thank you for the membership, Andy H. Thank you. GG's in the chat for Andy H. Thank you. Yeah, they came up with the Wraith Lord, and so when they made a taller one, it's a Wraith Knight because the Wraith Lord came first.
Yeah.
But you know it should have been a Wraith Knight, then a Wraith Lord.
Yeah.
It should have been the other way around, but here
Yeah,
we
because
are.
the Eldar wouldn't name their knights after the Imperial Knights because
Yeah.
the Imperial Knights are children to them. So yeah.
You can't get one single Wraith Knight though, because they come in twins. That's how it works.
Is it?
One shared soul across the two things in
I mean, I'm going to get one, so it's like having an odd sock, but it'll be fine. And I'm not going to get one anytime soon. It's just something I want to do eventually. But yeah, no, I like that idea. I did on my wraiths. I've added like little free-handed skulls into the faceplate things, and then done a little bit of a glow around them. But they're green and got blue gems.
Nice.
Yeah, I think your idea sounds great. So what you should do is get Den to do that with all your wraiths.
Yeah.
And then you'll never play them, and then I'll play them for you.
Yeah.
That's how what happened to the Tau, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, do this Tau. Actually, I don't want him.
Yeah.
That was ages ago.
That
yeah.
was ages
That
ago.
was four,
Yeah,
4 or 5
mainly
years.
whites with sea greens and blues, like on the top part.
Yeah, like glazed in or something. Oh yeah, yeah.
So
You could add like 3D printed flame.
ends
Like
of the,
yeah.
I've got a vision in my head for what they would look like.
And that's how
If
my
I was-
hobby mojo starts because I don't necessarily want to play the army. I just go, that's cool. I want to collect that. And I eventually end up playing the army.
Yeah, and before
That's-
you know
yeah,
it,
yeah, you're playing the army.
how are these guys going to feel on the battlefield? Well, I've done them now. Let's take
Let's
them
have
out
a
for a
look,
swim.
yeah.
And that's why you don't have to worry about the addition. If you're project focused, Then you'll play them in this edition, and then when the next edition swings around, you go, I wonder how these will function now.
I don't, other than like a couple of Space Marines, I don't play the same army the entire edition.
No.
I kind of go with the codices as they come out.
And
I've noticed that. So.
I still need to play Custodes. I haven't played Custodes at all this edition.
Haven't. I played them once when it was the Index, and then I haven't played the Codex. I got the Codex code off somebody in the Discord, and I want to try them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, it was a bit like the World Eaters thing, where I saw them as like on paper, like individually they're cool, but then you don't get much.
No.
So yeah.
So I'm just saying that as they come in waves, I focus on a bit.
Yeah.
And then a bit, and then it's what catches my I want to play with the tanks because of the guard stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's your next army. What else codices wise has come out? You've got Imperial Knights, which you've got, so that'll come out.
Well, Grey Knights need to come out at some
Grey
point
Knights are this year.
well.
Yeah.
I think Death Guard are coming.
Yeah, because they got the Codex roadmap. And
this is the year of chaos. Death Guard is coming this year. So
Death Guard already.
No,
Did that already have
Chaos Space Marines are out, but Death Guard aren't out. So this year they said that they're releasing Emperor's Children. This is the year of chaos, and we're getting 3: Emperor's Children, Thousand Suns, and Death Guard. And then there was all the other stuff. It's what else could they bring? Well, it's going to be World Eaters at some point later in the year. You got to remember as well, like in May this year, April, May. It's 2 years of this edition. So in April, May next year, there's another edition.
I think they should switch to a 5-year model.
So
because it's too quick.
All the codexes out by the end of the year, and then 4 months' time the edition changes again.
But they won't all be out by the end of the year.
I don't think there should be a 5-year model. Hear me out. There should be a 4-year model, and this is why. Because there's four things: AOS, Fantasy, 40k,
Old World. Yeah.
Old World. Do you remember 9th edition? Both Old World and Heresy were released in 10th. Both of them came out in 10th edition.
Heresy didn't.
It did. Heresy came out.
Heresy's been out for a couple of years now.
Oh well, Heresy 2.0. Heresy 1.0 came out in 7th edition.
But Heresy 2.0 came out in 9th.
Heresy I know it came out in because I remember going up. I was up at Games Workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, but 2023 was 10th.
No, it wasn't. 2022 was 10th.
2023 was 10th.
What year is it? 25.
We've just got to 2025.
Yeah, Heresy 2.0 came out in 23.
Did it really?
Yes.
Okay.
It came out like 6 months after 10th edition.
Okay.
Heresy 2.0.
Yeah.
And then they released Legio Imperialis like 3 months after that, which was
I know that came soon.
The wrong system in the wrong time. It was the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because everyone is just getting back into plastic heresy, and now they released Mini. They bombed that, and then they pushed out Old World. Basically, when 9th dropped, there was only 40k in AOS.
Yeah.
And now we've got 4 major systems instead of 2 major systems, so that would work on a 4-yearly release cycle. And every year they get... Because Games Workshop really like re-releasing stuff, because when they re-release stuff, they make money.
It's nostalgia.
It's just new edition, new audience, new money. As shareholders, they've got to make money, right? Eat this quarter, how much money were we making? So they could do a new release in the summer, every single year. And that means all the codexes, all the battle tomes, all the things that we need for all the armies can be out in 2.5 years. And then the last year and a half is like they don't need to. They can consolidate some of the. That's the way they can go. I don't know. That's what I think. Definitely came out during 9th because it saved me from having to play any more 9th. Horus Heresy 1.0 came out in 7th at the end of 8th.
Heresy was definitely 22.
Came out in 22.
The Age of Darkness box, yeah.
Did it?
I painted the Death Guard for Warhammer Community, didn't I? And that was when I was in the flat.
So in September, October this year, it's going to be 3 years of Heresy. So Heresy came out
in 2022.
Okay. So Heresy came out 6 months before 10th. Okay, so Heresy came out at the end of 9th, and Old World came out at the beginning of 10th.
Old World came out in 2024.
Right.
Jan 20. So it'd been 6 months of the edition. Here we go. This is what I was looking for.
Do you know how sometimes you can believe so fundamentally in something and be so wrong?
Yeah, it's called the Mandela effect.
That's my life. That is my life now to a T.
Yeah.
Codex roadmap. What's coming, Sultan?
So yeah, it's definitely the Year of Chaos. You are right. So right now we've got Eldar, Astra Militarum. Both of those are now out. Emperor's Children will be very soon.
Yes.
Then you've got World Eaters, Thousand Suns, and Death Guard. So basically, the
Thousand Suns and
first
Death
6
Guard,
months of
World
this year, I ain't going to be paying
Okay.
attention. And then we got Grey Knights, Black Templars,
Yes.
Chaos Knights, that looks like, and then
Salamanders.
there's a Salamander, and that is the one I'm interested in because we don't get first Founding Legion books outside of the normal thing. So
Unless
does that
we get-
mean Vulcan lives?
Unless
Or-
we get a Primarch.
So either there's 2 options, right? One is it's the supplement that is like they used to do in 9th
Right.
and 8th, where they
Right.
had a supplement for each first Founding.
Yep.
Or do we have Vulcan? Vulcan lives. He definitely lives, but is he going to be showing up?
Wouldn't if they did supplements for Iron Hands, Salamanders, Imperial Fist? That's a lot of books.
That's what I think the detachments are supposed to be for, right? In
Yeah.
the normal book. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like I want, and that's someone's just said Invalid Creations. That's exactly what I'm worried it is. Not worried, but like I think the boring answer is, unfortunately, is it's going to be a placeholder for Vanilla Marines 2.0 or something.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, that's what I think, maybe. But what normally stick an Ultramarine on
8th
that.
edition, we had 2 Space Marine codexes. 9th edition, they only dropped 1.
It's the only time they haven't done 2, isn't it? Because they did 2 in 7th. They've always done a 2.0 Space Marine Codex about halfway through the
I
cycle.
can't remember that far back. I mean, there were times like 5th to 6th edition was 6 years.
Yeah.
Or it would have been 4th to 5th. Basically 7th to 8th, 8th to 9th, 9th to 10th. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Since 7th, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
But back in the day, there was a time where we didn't have a new rulebook for 6 years. You'd also go from edition to edition, like Dark Eldar, for example. They got their codex in I think it was 3rd, and then we went all the way through 4th, and they didn't get a codex until 5th.
But they're all still worked, didn't they? So is that right? Is that it was
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
Which is what happened in 8th to
Not anymore.
didn't it early 8th to 9th work? Like you could keep them
No.
because you kept your codices in 9th initially. And like in the early days, and then they re-released codexes as you went along.
Yes,
So this
yeah.
is when they switched to indexes.
Yeah.
again.
They used to. The books used to be able to roll over
Yeah.
the old editions.
Yeah, because 7th couldn't go to 8th because it was a fundamental shift.
So they had indexes
8th could roll into 9th because it was just a tweaking of the rules, but then 9th got broken, so they reset again for 10th.
with index cards.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping. I mean, it could just be Marines 2.0. It could be
be.
supplement. I hope not. I hope it's Salamander's Codex Vulcan Lives.
I want all the Primarchs.
It's an odd choice in terms of like. It's not an odd choice because Vulcan is one of the easiest ones to bring back, but it's just for me. It's another separate codex that they have to then support. And that's another balancing thing. They're already having issues with Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Death Watch, Black Templars.
The reason why we've got Blood Angels is because they love selling us Space Marines.
I love
Space
buying
Marines are
them.
really popular. How many Space Marine chapters have you got?
8, and one of them
8.
Salamanders. So why do you think I
Exactly.
want Vulcan? Because none of my other chapters have well, Gilliman is sort of the Lord of Commander, but none of my other chapters have a Primarch.
It turns out people really like Space Marines. You know what Horus Heresy is?
Yeah, I know.
Space Marines.
That's the one I can have Sanguinius
They
in.
made everyone
Yeah.
buy their Rhinos and Land Raiders and Terminators and Dreadnoughts again.
I know, yeah.
They
well,
found
no,
a
actually,
way.
in this instance, you did, because I had Land Raiders for the Blood Angels, and you're like, can't use those
But
ones.
you've bought more stuff for the Blood Angels
did,
for
yeah.
Heresy.
No, I did,
It
yeah.
turns out Space Marines sell.
I'm not
So
saying I'm not a sucker.
I reckon there's going to be, 10 years' time, there will be a White Scars book and a Space Wolves book and and in it will be the Khan and a bunch of jet bikes zipping around. There will be
Yeah.
a Salamander's book.
See, that's what I'd
with
love.
a
Khan, 2 models of Khan. You want Khan on foot, you want
Yeah.
Khan on a bike, and then you want a special, like the Lion got its inner circle companions. I want, it doesn't need to be 5. I want 3 bikes with 3 jet bikes that
Yeah.
go with the Khan, and that's his retinue, and they run around with him.
Imagine if you could go into a Warhammer store tomorrow and you could buy the generic Space Marine book or the generic Chaos Space Marine book, right? Or you can buy a book for Black Legion, Empress Children, Nurgle, and in the Space Marine side, you could buy the Salamanders, you could buy the White Scars, you could buy the Blood Angels. Surely that's where they want to go as a business. So you walk in there, oh, I like that one, I'm going to get that. You know what Legion will never be in there, though? We'll never have a Primarch and never the Minotaurs, because they're terrible.
Or Iron Hands, because
Yeah.
they lost his edge.
No.
Or Blood Angels. 'cause
Iron
Sanguinius
Hands
died.
are the really good.
Yeah.
Well,
Or Night Lords, because he died.
well,
The
the
to
four of
be
them are
honest,
dead.
that's actually an interesting way to go about it, because
Wouldn't
their
it?
current model
Warhammer store, you walk
is
in, which one do you
make
want?
loads and loads of basic Space Marines,
Yeah.
like intercessors,
Yeah.
and then release upgrade sprues for them. So
Yeah.
the Death Company now are upgraded
Yeah.
regular dudes.
Yeah.
So in terms of the actual hard work of making miniatures in their factory and not having
Yeah.
enough room to hold stock and all that kind of stuff, it's easy.
Yeah.
And printing books is what makes them the most money.
Yeah. Print books. Primarchs sell. People love Primarchs. And then you walk in and there's 6 different Space Marines legions or Chaos ones and 12 different Loyalist ones. And
Yeah, I mean, I can see them going that way where they sell more books and make the models a bit more unified and just have like one or two special units per chapter and things like that.
Minotaurs don't need a Primarch.
It's Perturabo, isn't it? No, was it World Eaters they were mixed with? World
Probably
Eaters they were
Angron.
mixed with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angron.
But yeah, they don't need a Primarch. But that's because the High Lords of Terror keep them on a very short leash.
High Lords of Terror are their Primarch.
Yeah. Mad lads.
They are.
Any more questions about the Aeldari book? We have been banging on for an hour and a half, mainly not about the Aeldari book. I put Aeldari Codex chat with Sultan Plays up there, and
We talked about it quite a bit. We said it was good. We said it was fun. Said it was good. I think it's going to change.
What's the question, Brap? What's your question? But I think we only really talked about it for about 10% of the time. The Eldar book.
I think we talked about it a bit more. Maybe 15%.
I just want Dawn to be able to join the Templars and Fists. Dawn's dead.
Isn't it just his hand though? They retconned it, didn't they?
He's dead.
They retconned it.
It was
Because it
always
used to be his whole
hand.
body was there.
It was always his hand. That's all they were able to find was his hand because he got deaded, and that was all that was left.
Deaded.
Elder question: what's good? Where are we? Elder question: what's a good HH Angron look?
Betrayer.
Yes, Betrayer is one of the strongest books in the whole of the Horus Heresy. Just Craig, thank you for 22 months. Cheers for the enjoyable live stream, gents. Keep being legends. See you both soon. See you soon.
Bye, Craig.
It was only his hand. Yeah, he's dead. They found a hand. Brap, nothing to do with Eldar, and we haven't discussed this, but Verdansk comes back in Aprilish. Are we returning again for the madness?
I mean, yeah. I was always gonna.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Simply call and I answer when it comes to dropping into Verdansk.
Yeah. So long as I can be the quarterback, and you just follow me, Brap. Just follow me, okay?
Woof.
Woof. Space Marines, are we filming it?
No.
That's a no. You can film it. Space Marine, old book, they just had yeah. After Dacia's short story, good too. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Freshman. What are you talking about? Is that an AOS short story?
After Dacia, I don't know.
Short story. Yeah. Are we filming it is the real question. He just wants exposure, doesn't he?
Well, he goes down the local park for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, thank you for joining us this evening for this Talkie Tuesday live stream. Thank you to Sultan from Sultan Plays YouTube channel and Sultan Plays on the Instagram. Thank you. Sultan Horus Heresy Battle Report soon. Maybe. He's not there yet. He's getting there. Then even if we did then film it, then it fits in the schedule. So if I filmed it, for example, because Heresy fits in the slot thing, so it could be months. So it will come at some point. He will come, but right now he is not coming. He is going. Say goodbye, Sultan.
Bye, Sultan.